Hello, YouTubers. Yeah, I'm back to doing another episode of the Lost Media series. After I did some research, apparently there was a cancelled season 5 episode from Thomas the Tank Engine called James and Super ED or Super Ed, depending on how you pronounce it. And so I decided to do a talk about this. It's something that has this is a completely unknown episode, and it's really surprised me when it came up. So yeah, so we'll talk about the plot first. So the plot would have revolved around would have had James shunting in the yards, and then James gets into an accident. So the Fat Controller brings in a relief engine to take over James's place until James is repaired, and it comes out to be electric hybrid diesel engine named ED. Unfortunately, this diesel had a lot of problems and engine troubles, and then he gets struck by lightning, causing him to go extremely fast and get the job done about fast, and he ends up calling himself, and they call him Super ED, and he gets so popular, his popularity goes through the roof, which causes this engine to have a big ego, which causes a lot of conflicts with the steam engines, and then the engines all blame James for the mess. After James is mended, they blame him for the mess, and then Super ED says that steam engines are out of date and need to be scrapped, but he appreciates him. This annoys James, and he figures about how to get back at the engine, and then he tries to take Gordon's express train, I believe. Unfortunately, he has electric shock, which hits Gordon's buffer, which hits him, causing him to malfunction again and break down again. And in the end, the Fat Controller decides to send Super ED for scrap. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. It surprised me, like this was some sort of unrealistic episode, and fortunately, it was cancelled at the last minute because they thought it was way too unrealistic, an engine getting superpowers. Unfortunately, these guys like Brittlecroft, David Minnan, even Andrew Brenner have all taken risks in the show. Like, they risked it with Trust Thomas, they risked it with Heroes, they risked it with Henry's Forest, they risked it with Rusty to the Rescue, they risked it with A Better View for Gordon, they risked it with Put Upon Percy, they risked it with Haunted Henry, they risked it with Toby and the Flood, they risked it with Rusty and the Boulder, they risked it with Thomas and the Jet Engine, they risked it with Hugo the Engine, they risked it with the fastest red engine on Sodor. They even took a risk with a lot of movie specials, like they risked it with Thomas and the Magic Railroad, they risked it with The Great Discovery, they risked it with Hero of the Rails, they risked it with The Adventure Begins, they risked it with Soldier's Legend of the Lost Treasure. So, I don't know why they cancelled it, because they have taken so many risks in the past before. There is really not much to know what Super ED's basics was going to be. Many fans dictated him as a warship Bobo diesel like Diesel 10. Others depicted him as a diesel shunter. Others dictated him as just as another type of diesel. So yeah, that what interests me, what was Super ED going to be? I would have loved to know what he was going to be like. Also, there were some scripts of, Super ED giving out these lines going, "I am Super ED! I'll go fast as I can because I'm Super ED!" That's a pretty funny line. I'm surprised they didn't do it, but I think I don't know why, but I'm glad they didn't do the episode, because if it did, it probably would have been there would have been a lot of criticism for the episode. People would have considered it the most stupidest episode from the Allcroft era, and considered one of the worst episodes, and people would have considered it the downhill point for the franchise. So yeah, I'm so glad they didn't do it. And even if it did it would have got a lot of hate for a long period of time. But I think in like but in like 20 years' time, I think fans would have come to really appreciate the story a lot more. So yeah, I this was a quick blog view on this episode. I know it was quick, but yeah, because that was pretty. The scripts for this episode already exist, I meant to say. So if you can have a look, you can find it on the Thomas Wiki called James and Super ED. So yeah, bye now for not forever. This is Duke Kato signing off. Bye.